Hi friends, welcome back to i-TUTOR NCERT series. Today, we are going to discuss Class 7 Geography NCERT, Chapter 7, Human Environment, Settlement, Transport and Communication. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about human environment, that is, about settlement, transportation and communication. Let's begin. First, what is settlements? Settlements are places where people built their homes. Early human beings lived on trees and in caves. When they started to grow crops, it became necessary to have a permanent home. So, when the people started to grow crops, they want to store the food or they want to store the excess crops. So, it became necessary to have a permanent home. The settlements grew near the river valleys as water was available and land was fertile. We know the Indus Valley civilization that is also grew near the river valley. Okay, grew near the Indus River. With the development of trade, commerce and manufacturing, human settlements became larger. Settlements flourished and civilizations developed near river valleys. Now, settlement are of two types. That is, first one is permanent and second one is temporary. So there are two types of settlement. First one is permanent settlements and second one is temporary settlements. Settlements which are occupied for a short time, that is called temporary settlement. So if the settlements which are occupied for a short time, then they are called temporary settlements. The people living in the deep forest, hot and cold desert, and mountains often dwell in such temporary settlements. So the people in the forest, hot and cold deserts, so they are lived in a temporary settlement. They practice hunting, gathering, shifting cultivation, and transhumance. Now, however, more and more settlements today are permanent settlements. In these settlements, people build home to live in. Okay, so that's about temporary settlement and permanent settlements. Now, the villages are rural settlements where people are engaged in activities like agriculture, fishing, forestry, craftwork, and trading. So, villages are rural settlement. Okay, there are rural and urban settlements. So, the villages are coming under rural settlement. And the main activities of them are agriculture, fishing, forestry, craftwork, and trading. Rural settlements can be compact or scattered. A compact settlement is closely built area of dwellings. Okay, so rural settlements are two types. First one is compact and scattered. Okay, now compact means the compact settlements is closely built area. Okay, so the houses are closely built. Wherever flat land is available in a scattered settlement, dwellings are spaced over an extensive area. This type of settlement is mostly found in the hilly tracts, thick forests, and regions of extreme climate. Okay, so in these places like hilly tract, thick forest, and extreme climatic region, here we can see the second types of settlements, that is scattered settlement. Okay. Now, in rural areas, people build houses to suit their environment. In regions of heavy rainfall, they have slanting roofs. Places where water accumulates in the rainy seasons, the houses are constructed on a raised platform or stilt. Now, thick mud walls houses with thatched roofs are very common in areas of hot climate. So that's help to prevent heavy hot or high heat. Local materials like stones, mud, clay, straw, etc. are used to construct houses. The towns are small and the cities are larger urban settlements. In urban areas, the people are engaged in manufacturing, trading and services. Okay, so in rural area, people are engaged in agriculture, fishing, forestry, craftwork and trading. But in urban area, people are mainly engaged in manufacturing, trading and services. Okay, so look at this picture. This is scattered settlement, example for a scattered settlement, and this is compact settlement. Okay, here the houses are closely built. Now, moving forward, transport. Transport is the means by which people and goods moves. Okay, so it's a means by which people and good moves. In the early days, it took a great deal of time to travel long distances. People had to walk and used animals to carry their goods. Invention of the wheel made transport easier. So, the invention of wheel which helped to the transportation easier. With the passage of time, different means of transport developed. But today, people use animals for transport. Okay, so today people use animals also for transport. For example, in our country, donkeys, mules, bullocks, and camels are common. Okay, so these are used for transport. In the Andes Mountains of South America, okay, so in Andes Mountains of South American region, llamas are used and yaks in Tibet. Okay, so in Tibetan region, yaks are used for transportation, and in South America, llamas are used for transportation. The early traders from other countries used to take several months to reach India. They took either the sea route or the land route. Aeroplanes have made travel faster. Now it's take only 6 to 8 hours to travel from India to Europe. Modern means of transport, that saves time and energy. Okay, so they save time and energy. The four major means of transport are: first one, roadways, railways, waterways, and airways. Okay, so that is the four types of transportation. Now, the first one is roadways. The most commonly used means of transport, especially for short distance, are roads. They can be metalled, that is puka, or unmetalled, that is kacha. So there are two types of roadways. First one is metalled road, that is puka, and unmetalled road, that is kacha. The plains have a dense network of roads. Roads have also been built in terrains like deserts, forests, and even high mountain. So today the roads are seen in everywhere, like in desert, forest, and also in high mountains. The Manali-Leh Highway, okay, Manali-Leh Highway in the Himalayan mountain is one of the highest roadways in the world. Roads built underground are called subways or underpaths. Flyovers are built over raised structures. Okay, so the roads under the ground are called, roads built underground are called subways or underpath, and the flyovers are raised, built over raised structures. Okay, so next one is railways. The railways carry heavy goods and people over long distances quickly and cheaply. The invention of the steam engine and the Industrial Revolution helped in speedy development of rail transport. Diesel and electric engines have largely replaced the steam engines. In places, superfast trains have been introduced to make the journey faster. The railway network is well developed over the plain area. Okay, the road network is also developed in the or well developed in the plain areas. Same as the railway network is also developed in the plain areas. Advanced technological skills have enabled laying of railway lines in difficult mountain terrains also, but these are much fewer in number. Indian railway network, that is the well developed and largest in Asia. Okay, so our Indian railway network is well developed and that is the largest railway network in Asia. Look at this. The Trans-Siberian Railway, that is the longest railway system, connected St. Petersburg in Western Russia to the Vladivostok on the Pacific coast. So this is the longest railway system in the world. Okay, Trans-Siberian Railway from St. Petersburg in Western Russia to the Vladivostok in the Pacific Ocean. Okay, so this is the railway line. This dotted lines is the railway line. Now, do you know the Golden Quadrilateral connects Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata. Okay, so the Golden Quadrilateral, these connect Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata. Now, next one is waterways. Waterways are the cheapest for carrying heavy and bulky goods over long distance. So waterways are used for long distance travel. They are mainly of two types. First one is inland waterways and second one is sea routes. Navigable rivers and lakes are used in inland waterways. So in inland waterways, we used navigable river and lakes. Some of the important inland waterways are Ganga Brahmaputra river system, the Great Lakes in the North America, and the river Nile in Africa. Okay, so these are the important inland waterways. Now, sea routes and oceanic routes are mostly used for transporting merchandise and goods from the one country to another. These routes are connected with the ports. Some of the important ports of the world are Singapore, Mumbai, then New York, Los Angeles, Rio de Janeiro, Durban, Cape Town in Africa. So these are some of the important ports. Okay, again, first one is Singapore and Mumbai in Asia, New York, Los Angeles in North America, Rio de Janeiro in South America, Durban and Cape Town in Africa, Sydney in Australia, London and Rotterdam in Europe. Now, next one is airways. This is the fastest way of transport developed in the early 20th century. It is also the most expensive due to heavy cost of fuels. So, the airways need a high cost of fuel. So, that's why they are most expensive. Air traffic is adversely affected by bad weather like fog and storms. It is the only mode of transport to reach the most remote and distant areas, especially where there are no roads and railways. Helicopters are extremely useful in most inaccessible areas and in time of calamities for rescuing people and distributing food, water, clothes and medicine. Some of the important airports are Delhi, Mumbai, New York, London, Paris, Frankfurt and Cairo. Okay, so that's about the airways. So we discussed about four types of transportation. First one is roadways, then railway, now waterways and last one is airways. Now communication. Communication is the process of conveying messages to others. With the development of technology, humans have devised new and fast modes of communication. The advancement in the field of communication has brought about an information revolution in the world. Different modes of communications are used to provide information, to education, as well as to entertain. Though newspapers, radio, and television, we can communicate with a large number of people. So these are some modes of communications. They are therefore called mass media. Okay, so these radios, television, newspapers, these are called mass media. The satellites have made communication even faster. Satellites have helped in oil exploration, survey of forest, underground water, mineral wealth, weather forecaster, and disaster warning. Now, we can send electronic mails, that is emails, through the internet. Wireless telephonic communications through cellular phones have become very popular today. Internet not only provides us with worldwide information and interaction, but has also made our lives more comfortable. Now, we can reserve tickets for railways, airways, and even cinemas and hotels sitting at home. With this kind of interconnectivity of people, services, and institutions across the world, we are a large global society. Okay, so that's all about this chapter. If you have any doubts, please comment below. For more videos, do like, share, subscribe.